It's a nice win, but it's not the end all be all.
No, it's not, and we just talked about that. It was one game. At the end of the day, it's basically left column, right column at the end of the season. I think and you lose to a Fordham team on the road, that goes up and loses to Bryant, and then we knew we were going to get a different Fordham team because they went up there and just played totally flat, got behind, and then things snowballed. But again, a lot of the perception of it, we lose to a Fordham team that loses to Bryant, we talked about that game and just continuing to execute. Just so proud of Steve. He comes in last year, and the best case scenario is he has a year to redshirt because he played as a true freshman, a true sophomore. And then Chris Paul being the returning starter, and that doesn't play out. And then the finality of that decision. I told Steve, we're not going to burn your year on 1 or 2 games or 3 games, because that wouldn't be fair to him. And, so I think psychologically, every week he gets better and better. And Io, Io was on the 4x1 national championship team in high school, and he's really just a guy he's got so much talent, but he hasn't been playing football for that long. And he's still just developing the nuances. He's tough, he runs the ball hard, he's got exceptional speed. And today we came out and we'll watch film, and some of those holes it looked like there was nothing. And the thing, you always like fast guys that aren't afraid to lower their shoulder too, because when you can bring the wood like that, all of a sudden, when a guy's fast, you're in breakdown mode, and you don't want to come to balance so you're not missing a tackle, and then all of a sudden you get a face full of a shoulder pad. His ability to change it up on the defense is just so proud of him. And I think every running back has a defining game in their career. The great running backs have defining games in their career, and this was really the game that and I think hopefully we look back at and we'll say that was the game that really Io turned it on and became the great player that he aspires to be.
I know that this was a huge win, going to win in a few days, but in a few weeks you got Brown, Governor's Cup game. They have a big game with Harvard this week. They could be coming in on a high. So how are you going to prepare with 2 weeks of practice after coming down from this win?
Well, we'll enjoy. I think even though we're not a team that has had a ton of success, we have a great group of leadership in the 12 seniors. We're playing at home again. The MO we talked about, wearing the blue jerseys, and any championship team I've ever been around, they're almost unbeatable at home. And our philosophy every year, if we can win the games at home and split on the road, we're going to be in the mix for a conference championship. And, it's just not that you need to be validated as a coach, but we were so much further along than the 0-2 record indicated. And I just think, I think there were so many people outside. I tell the kids after every game, I said, hey, my people, I'm going to walk out of this locker room, and my people are going to have 1,000 reasons why we lost the game. Your people are going to have a different 1,000 reasons, but, ignore the people on the periphery. We didn't play perfect. We're going to have to come out and do a better job of executing, and we're just going to continue to grow. But I think it's going to be, it's got the potential to be exponential just in terms of confidence and beating a team like that.
I've been a student paper, and as a student, there's a lot of apathy on campus, people saying football teams, because recent history, the teams haven't had records that indicate how good they are. What would you say to the students now?
Well, it would be nice. I was at Villanova, and for 8 years, and we draw. We don't draw any less than they draw. I think I'm not justifying that. I would love to see the students come out and support us. It was I don't know. I didn't really I didn't sense that there was a paltry crowd today. But when you win, that's everyone loves a winner. And if we string a couple together. I remember. I've been in this league a long time, and I remember when Rhode Island had it humming, with Tim and some of those early teams in Tim's era. There was people in the stands, and I'm assuming a lot of those kids were students. A lot of the fans were students. But I came up here on 2 different occasions when I was at Villanova, and it was a pretty hostile environment.
Victor, excuse me. Would you please take me through the last your sack play? And at that point in the game, with about 2 minutes to play, are you focused on knocking the ball loose, or just making the sack and controlling the?
Coach Devine, as well as Coach Trainer, says there's no such thing as sacks. Everything is sack fumbles. So yeah, as soon as I came off the ball, Coach Trainer told me that I should take the tackle high. Knowing that the tackle was going to come high, I noticed that the quarterback was stepping up a lot. So as soon as I took him high and beat him up top, I spun back and I saw his arm come down. It was just a luck from there.
I don't know if you remember that play, but Victor actually lost. He was inside him.
Yeah.
You know, it wasn't like he just came off the edge and set. He ended up coming under the tackle, and then the quarterback, you know, took it on the perimeter, and Victor did an unbelievable job of retracing, regaining leverage, and then forcing the sack fumble. And that was obviously the play of the game.
What does it mean to get 5 sacks in the game against a quarterback of this caliber?
Well, I mean, you know, I think we this is really the first year that we're able to rotate more guys through. You know, I mean, and again, there's no excuses, but we had, you know, there was 4 or 5 starters out for this game. You know, Stanley Dunbar didn't play. Matt Greenhall, you know, was out for the year, and we've had a number of guys that we've lost. There are no excuses, and we never paint like that. But for the first time, we're able to rotate guys through. For the first time since we've been here, you know, we have 8 or, you know, there's probably 8 guys on that defensive line that probably got, you know, 15 to 20 plays. I mean, James is probably got, you know, 15 to 20 plays today, and that's so important because, you know, when you can keep guys fresh, particularly on a team that's throwing the ball all over the line. You know, if you talk to D-line guys, you get more exhausted rushing the passer than just leaning on an offensive lineman in the run game. You know, so the fact that we're playing more players on both sides of the ball, you know, it really bodes well for us. You know, and those guys were fresh. And obviously Victor, you know, Victor goes 100 miles an hour, and then, you know, usually after 10 plays like that, he needs a blow. And you know, and last year, you know, I'm not speaking for Victor, but he probably wouldn't have had enough gas in his tank to make that play because he wouldn't have gotten the breaks he needed throughout the course of the game.
But on the other side, so I mean, you just gave so much pressure.
Yeah, and
two guys pitching.
yeah, it was we did. I mean, and I think the thing that for me, the thing that was so pleasing, it was a lot of that was out of 3-man rush. You know, and then sometimes it's, you know, the quarterback, you know, that's a team that wants you to be in man-to-man all game and just kind of rub, you know, we call them rub routes where they put, you know, 2 receivers in tight proximity and they just kind of pick in. You know, and New Hampshire, dating back to Chip Kelly, I mean, they've made a living just, we'll just heat them up, we'll heat them up. And, you know, and you have to pressure, but I think going into this game, we said we gotta give him as many different looks as we can, and we were very conscious of, you know, what the last 2 series entailed so that we were giving him different looks as the game
Right to that last interception, that was under pressure.
Yeah,
So.
definitely.
Any more questions?
Michael, good to see you.
Thank you, guys. Good here.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate everything.